Hello. Hi, everybody. It's Patricia again with Puppet Uninterrupted. Thank you again for tuning in. I wanted to get this done so I could start getting it uploaded to YouTube because after my big, long, hour and 10-minute intro video that I just did, early this morning, took like 5 hours to upload it onto YouTube for everybody. This hopefully will be much, much shorter than that. So what I wanted to just go over really quick is, again, thank you again for tuning in. Like, like my channel, subscribe please, and share if you could, so we could like start a kind of a light army here. Um, Energy, yay! Let's do this. So I need all the light workers that I can get. Let's get an army going. I wanted to touch on energy really quick. And on my webpage, Puppet Uninterrupted, there is a page about the 5 elements. Okay. Now, I am. I'm not a Wiccan. I am pagan in my belief system. Okay. Um, and I guess if because I'm not into labels, I don't really have a title or a "what are you" kind of thing. Okay. Um, I'm into magic. I'm into witchcraft. I'm into manifestation. I'm into the occult. I'm into learning things, and I don't know. I'm into learning things that most people avoid because they've been taught to fear it, mostly through regular mainstream religion. But anyway, so a lot of these concepts that I describe, even though I correlate most everything with, the tarot, because it is all correlated after all. It's all energy. Um, Ultimately, my first, my heart is in the idea of this belief system. And unfortunately, oddly enough, throughout my growing up and my need to figure stuff out because there was shit just wasn't right in my head. And there was always a contradiction between what I was being told and what was happening and blah blah blah. So a lot of these things came to me in even somewhat primitive ways, ideas, as I was contemplating them. Figuring out, the whole God thing, right? And like knowing that it's not some dude in the sky. George Carlin's my hero. Um, Figuring, realizing, excuse me, realizing that it is energy. It's an entity. The concept of God is an entity. But that same entity, that same energy is all of us. It's part of all of us. So, but I figured all this out earlier on, and I was like, well, maybe that's what it is. And then as I started learning and researching, when I finally poof, there it all was, and I was like, oh my God, that's like what I was thinking. Oh shoot! So something was stuff starts to click. So it brings up the word, and this is the word I'm going to focus on, epiphany, right? It's an epiphany when you finally get that click in your head, and something, after all that time of contemplation and thinking it sounded right, but you're never quite sure. So when you have that epiphany, it's just like awesome. And I have had so many, I have one pretty much every day. You can never have too many epiphanies, now can you? Um, it's invigorating, actually, it really is. Because you feel like a little bit closer to your source. You feel like you're doing something right, right? So let me read really quick what the dictionary says about the meaning of the word epiphany. Uh, it says a sudden intuitive perception of, oh wait, let me start this. Okay, a sudden intuitive perception of or insight into the reality or essential meaning of something, usually initiated by some simple, homely, or commonplace occurrence or experience. A literary work or section of a work presenting, usually symbolically, such a moment of revelation and insight. My most recent, let me just share this with you really quick because it's always meaningful, okay? That when you have epiphany, because it's like light bulb, right? Those aren't devil horns. light bulb. Okay, anyway, I kept getting things in readings when I would pull a card for myself or when I was going through others to read on my card. Cards repeat themselves when you haven't completed that cycle or ended something or fixed it or whatever, right? So I kept getting this message and I couldn't figure it out. I know I have a lot of childhood issues. I know I have a lot of childhood issues, and I've been working through a lot of them. And you think, or at least I do sometimes think that, okay, it's cool. I've worked it out. Everything's great. I can move on and not worry about that part of the story anymore. But that's a lie. It's never over. There's always some little something hiding in a little corner somewhere, and it's going to come out and bite. So I kept getting these messages, the messages that there were certain beliefs, certain things from my childhood that I needed to let go. And I'm thinking, well, but I have. I mean, other than not being able to confront people because they all dead, I really thought that I was doing so good at working through those issues. And at the same time, I was also going through some, I don't want to say relationship things, but interpersonal interactions is probably a better way to put it. And I thought, because I'm old, right? Okay, I don't know the rules. I don't know the games. I don't know how stuff works. Okay, I've been blocking myself off from men, right, from anything significant because a lot of reasons. But when I finally decided to open myself to dating and stuff, I'm old school. I'm thinking, okay, meet, fall in love, and who knows, right? But it's not how shit works anymore, apparently. And my idea, and I know this does sound weird, but this is why this channel is here, because we need to talk openly about all this stuff, right? Hopefully he's not watching. But one of the things that I struggled with was the old concept of, don't give the milk away before, okay. And this belief that I had some kind of something that I had to protect of myself. I had to protect my purity or something. My purity. Okay, I have a kid, so I ain't pure. But you know what I mean? It was like this idea in my head where I couldn't give myself to someone sexually, for instance, unless it meant love and commitment and wham bam, now we're a thing, now we're a couple, now we're official. That idea, and I didn't catch on. It took me a little while to realize that that was what that message was referring to. Because I went down my little personal checklist. I'm like, wait, I did this, and I did that, and I did this. But it finally, it finally occurred to me. And with that came a freedom, actually. Because, one of the things I've learned in this journey is that, okay, we've got all the elements, earth, air, fire, water. And then there's 5, spirit, right? The ether, the dark matter, whatever you think of it as. And we all take on different concepts, different energies at different times. Regardless of, whether I'm a Scorpio or not, sometimes I'm going to act like an air sign or, an earth sign or whatever, right? And we just pick up different things because the cosmic activity that's going on does affect us. I mean, it's not just the moon, it's everything. So it's cyclical. It's always happening. But I found myself in a situation where I was forcing myself to be at that level of no. If we've shared this, then that means that this must be how it must be. And how corny and old-fashioned that is. And it wasn't that necessarily I believed it because that's how I was raised to believe it, and I never was able to be the hangman and look at shit from a different perspective long enough to grasp what I needed to grasp. And my epiphany was realizing that, the love part of what I'm seeking in that connection, okay, I can do the love part myself. I can love enough, right? I know what that is already. Okay? It'd be awesome, right? In the big picture scheme of things to have, the partnership with, the one partner, and you fall in love and he falls in love and they're all lovey-dovey, kissy, happily ever after, 11-11. But in reality these days, because shit changes, life is not always the same, and that's a good thing. I just, I had been not paying attention to the ebbs and the flows, and I wasn't reading the memos, and I wasn't keeping pace with the trends and how people are. Okay, and when I choose to, it's because I choose to. It's not because I'm being forced to or anything else. But sometimes going with the flow seems to be like the better option in some cases. Our pentacle energy, our earthly desires, our mundane desires, our wand energies, the passion, all of that. That is given to us for a reason. All of our energies and all of our senses are given to us in order for us to embrace and enjoy our physical life while we're here in physical form the best way that we can. We get to visually see the beauty and the bitchiness of this beautiful planet, right? We get to feel things, we get to touch things, we get to just feel all those awesome sensations that come with embracing someone or making love or whatever, right? So, for me, I was desiring closeness, right? And I was always making the connection that it had to be very rigid and dumb. It was just dumb. And it's fine. I closed myself off to something really intense because I was like, no, it has to be like this, or forget it. Well, it, you know, that was like, the nose off the face kind of thing, right? It was like, duh. I mean, why would I take away something that was exciting to me because of an idea? It was just an idea. It was an idea. It was a concept. It was something that was ingrained in me. So my epiphany was that shit don't serve me anymore. And I'm at a time in my life where I realize I'm way closer to the end of my life than I am at the beginning of my life, right? I know that no day is going to be guaranteed from here on. I mean, I know tomorrow is not guaranteed for me. I'm going to enjoy my life while I have it. I have my health. I'm grateful for that. I have my life, my eyesight, my sensations, my feelings. I've lost a lot of inhibitions that I used to have, and it's just like very freeing. So there's my epiphany for the day, right? Okay, so let me quickly just share. I know it is, but it's beautiful, right? It is. Okay, so let me just go to the energies page. I want to read this to you real quick. This is about the five elements, and this is off of my webpage, Puppet Uninterrupted, under the 5 elements. But I just wanted to kind of share this with you because this was how part of the stuff that led me into my belief system as I know it and into tarot, right? So it says, let me see. Okay, I want to briefly explain the importance of recognizing and understanding the concept of how the energies from these basic elements, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, are interwoven into everything and everyone. Any book or reference on the subject is generally the same in that these basic elements are the literal building blocks to our very existence. There are some variations to these principles or belief systems, but for the most part, they have been accepted as integral in our inner and outer world. The system allows us to create a direct connection. Let me kick back here a little bit. Comfortable. The system allows us to create a direct connection to these 5 specific elements in order to manifest change that can directly affect our lives. Awesome. You can learn how to invoke and work in unity with these elements and their corresponding dignities as a means of focusing your intentions. Dr. Wayne Dyer, he's my mentor, and to activate an invisible and universal machine. It's true. This is the law of attraction at its basic structure, right? This is law of attraction. Okay, once the machine has been activated and your intention is in motion, the manifestation is literally under construction by the universe. How beautiful is that? So the first one up, Earth. Now we know Earth is a pentacle sign, okay? The Earth, the physical and literal plane that we live on, our boat, right? We're all on the same boat. The element gives us our grounding and our sense of stability. Its energies provide us with knowledge and wisdom. It helps us to activate, it helps us, if I could put my glasses on and read, it would be helpful. It helps us to achieve our aspirations such as wealth, success, and prosperity. On the physical plane, this is considered a passive element. It is heavy. It is seen in representations such as gems and crystals, trees and mountains. Earth also represents fertility and a nurturing spirit. Think about the term Mother Earth and realize that's no accident. Earth is our mother in this context. This element, force, also represents the direction of north and the colors green or brown most common. The next one up is air. You know, air in tarot represents swords, right? The air above us is as opposed to the earth below us, is an element of action and movement. The air energies provide us with things like imagination and intellect. It can manifest as communication, inspiration, ideas, and even travel. One of my favorite aspects of this energy is sound. It has a masculine nature, and unlike earth, which is passive, air is considered an active element. It is light. These elemental forces assist us in visualization and divination. Air represents the direction of east and the color yellow, most common. Next one up is fire. Okay, so the fire element is represented by the wands in tarot. The element of fire can actually have positive and sometimes negative aspects for obvious reasons. We see fire as an element of warmth, brightness, passion, motivation, willpower, and also sexuality. Fire can also have a destructive side, however. Consider the devastation it can create if left unchecked. Although it is a form of cleansing or clearing away for new growth, that's a good thing. Be careful of the destructive nature. This is a powerful element, and it is connected to authority. Fire has a masculine nature and is considered an active element. Fire represents the direction of south, and most often the color red. Duh. Okay, and one of my favorites, water. Scorpio! Water is my personal favorite. Water is an original, excuse me, let's try this again. I'm reading my own dang words, right? Water is origin of life in many aspects. As earthly creatures, we cannot survive without water. Our bodies are made up mostly of this element. Emotion is abound in water. Tell me it ain't so. It represents love, family, friendships. It can also represent psychic energy, as well as healing, intuition, and cleansing. Water has the power to extinguish fire and can erode solid rock. The fluid motion of water is soothing, it's calming, it's relaxing, and it is no surprise that water carries a deep feminine aspect, emotions, compassion, and the subconscious. Water is considered a passive element. Water represents the direction of west, and in general, the color blue. Blue was always my favorite color. Isn't that weird? My second one is green. Blue, green, turquoise, anything that blends from one to the other kind of goes from water to earth. I just learned recently I'm a Virgo rising, so Virgo is earth. Anyway, I'm also Sagittarius moon, so that's my fire. Pardon. Okay, number 5, because remember, in this world, we have 5 elements. The last one is spirit. It's also known as the 5th element, ether or ether. Maybe quintessence, right? Quint, 5, right? Spirit is the culmination of all of these energies. Spirit is the all, right? It's source. It's before the Big Bang. It's like everything before and after and in between. Okay. It is the invisible matter that binds all forces and energies, origin of source and soul. Some even consider it as the universal dark energy, the glue that connects all things. Spirit is pure and it is perfect. Remember, none of us are, so that's what we aspire to be, right? Godlike. Spirit is the driving force of all of the elements and all of the energies within them. Spirit is balance. It is my belief that Spirit is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. And I do honor it as creation itself. I do honor it as source, as my mentor, Dr. Wayne Dyer, would call it, source. So that's just a little bit of explanation of how I see the energies and how they intermingle, right? And we know how they correspond with tarot. Of course, tarot doesn't include the fifth element. That's the tarot reader. That's the person that holds the cards in their hand. That's the person that's assessing all of the information. Hopefully they're getting accurate data and trying to piece it all together, okay? So what I did also, just to top this out, it takes a while to sit here and shuffle cards in front of people, and I really don't have anything to prove as far as like whether I shuffled them or not. I mean, I could just pick a card as a topic card for the day and talk about it and make it correspond with my story or whatever. It really doesn't matter because every card has something that we can learn from it, right? And pull from it and use as a positive light energy to move forward with and pass on to others. Okay, so I pulled one card from Standard Rider-Waite Tarot, and I pulled one card from a geometry, what is it? Oh, Sacred Geometry Oracle deck. Okay, so the card that I picked from the Rider-Waite deck, and again, this is a minor arcana, so it's not that earth-shattering, but the energy around us right now, I have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups, and we see 8 cups neatly stacked, and we see somebody walking away from them. Now, some people can interpret that as a negative card. Somebody's walking away. Cups are emotions. It could be love. It could be emotions from anything, though. I mean, walking away from something that's not serving you emotionally is probably the best thing that I can take from this. The same way that, like, when I had my epiphany and realized that those ideas are like so silly, and you know, me being so naive in those old beliefs left me like kind of lonely. You know, it's like, just loosen up a little, Patricia. Go with the flow. You know, see how things go. It doesn't have to be A to B to C to D to Z, and that's it, and wham, bam, we're done. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. My life does not have to be so rigid, and I'm really, 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 really working hard to get over, you know, normal, okay? Help me. So anyway, I see the Eight of Cups as realizing, you know, all these things that you put your effort into emotionally, whatever it was. Okay, you did it. You filled them. You did what you wanted to do at the time. You felt that was what you were supposed to do, or it was just the thing to do. But at some point, you're allowed to walk away. You don't have to stay. If it's not making you feel good, if it's not enhancing your life, you don't have to have it in your life. So walk away. I'm all for that. You know, Scorpio, you know, we're all about change and transformation anyway. So, I mean, I do that on a daily. right? So there's that one. Now from the activations deck, I love this oracle deck. It is Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle by Lon, L-O-N. At least that's the publisher. These cards are really pretty cards. But the one that I pulled, and I shuffled and I did all that stuff, the one that I pulled was number 10, Authority. It's so pretty. Very nice card. Oops. So anyway, let me read what it says about authority. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So it doesn't have to be like, Stalin or what's his name, the Nazi dude, right? Doesn't have to be that. Hold on a second. Let me see, what did I just do? Are we still talking? Yeah, we are. I must have touched my mouse. All right, so anyway, I'm going to hold this up while I'm reading the description for you, okay? You don't have to look at me. Okay. The word authority, the word authority has mostly been used to describe the powers that rule, govern, lead, direct, control, and protect. It has also been closely associated with the powers that dominate, suppress, enforce, demand, and scare us. Authority is about power, and we're talking about old rules from the past that don't serve us. Well, a lot of that comes from authority that was never really well intended to begin with. So keep that in mind. I know, I loved them too. They're, sometimes our parents are screwed up too. I mean, people are screwed up. They're not perfect like they want us to think. Okay, true authority. True authority is generated by maturity, knowledge, wisdom, experience, and inner balance. This kind of power comes from within, where it is deeply rooted in a solid connection to Source. Externally, this power expresses itself as presence, the ability to be completely in the moment, with full awareness of every aspect of oneself, all senses fully engaged, while being completely centered in the heart. Internally, this power steps back to witness, allowing us to perceive and discern without attachment. From all this, a new form of authority arises. One that leads, shares, directs, and conducts with benevolence, grace, compassion, wisdom, and integrity. This kind of authority inspires trust, creation, collaboration, and partnership. It is receptive in nature and expresses the journey inward. We all need to go inward, okay? That's the journey we really need to take. This is where connection with self and Source become one. Green in the cards, green, represents the energy that abundantly flows from the heart. Turquoise represents the high heart chakra, sometimes referred to as the thymus chakra, the place where heart and throat energies merge into loving expression of truth. And gold and yellow represent abundance, truth, enlightenment, and self-realization. In numerology, 3 is considered a catalytic number. It stands for an energy that speeds up or creates a reaction between two unrelated things without necessarily changing itself. That's interesting. And there are many sixes also in this image. Well, I saw the three circles. Of course, there's the fourth one in the middle, but there's actually a circle and a circle and a circle. 3 6s and 9s, baby cakes. Come on, we know where that comes from. Thank our friend Mr. Tesla for that. He wasn't lying. 3s, 6s and 9s. There's more secrets out there that I'm still trying to find. But you know what? It's all connected to that. 3 6s and 9s mean a lot in tarot and witchcraft and the occult. They're very specific to certain things. So anyway, 6 is associated with harmony, love, and balance, as well as with structure, design, and efficiency. Conceptually, circles stand for everything and nothing at all. Balance and infinity, purity and freedom. That's an awesome message. I like these energy oracles. It says, try this. Let's try this. And then we'll close. Close your eyes and contemplate, which is like something I do a lot of, the concept of authority for a moment. How does the word authority make you feel? Do you consider yourself an authority in certain areas? Are you kind and wise in your guidance of other people? Intentions. Are you coming from a place of wholeness and balance? That's what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to come from a place where we can figure out how to be balanced and at peace within ourselves so we can generate positive energy, raise our vibration, and share our positive light and energy with other people. We all got to be receptive to it though, so if we're at one level and they're down here, they're probably not even going to hear us. Or if we're down here and they're up here, same thing. You don't sense people when they're not on the same vibrational frequency as you, and I never realized that before, but this is another thing that I'm learning about energy. It's awesome! So thank you again for joining me today. I want to do more of these. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep this thing going. Join my army of light workers so we can generate more and pass it along like the torch. And leave me some comments, give me some ideas of subjects that you might want to touch on, discussions, topics, things like that. So in the meantime, thank you everybody for spending time with me. I know your time is very valuable, so thank you for dropping in again with me, Patricia, Puppet Interrupted, and I will catch up with y'all in probably not very long. Thank you again. Peace, love, and light. See y'all. Bye.